to the Pulse podcast by the Power Broker Media Group. I'm your host, Adrienne Reddick. In today's episode, we'll be discussing some Thanksgiving do's and don'ts with our local chefs and business owners. This will be a fun episode, so sit back, relax, and be prepared to laugh. Welcome to the Pulse podcast. I am your host, Adrienne Reddick. Today, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, as that's coming up. We're joined by some great cooks, business owners. So if we can do a quick roundtable, tell us a little bit, our audience, about who you are, if you have a business, what that business is, and give us a little bit about your favorite Thanksgiving dish, either to cook, eat, or both. So I'm going to start with Miss Ernestine.
Yes, my name is Ernestine McCrone. I'm the owner of Ameenah's Catering, event design. I've been cooking for 40 years. My favorite dish to cook is dressing, cornbread dressing.
Okay. Love cornbread dressing. Love it. All right. Then we'll roll over to Mr. Ed Brunson.
Hey, how are you? Good morning. My name's Ed Brunson. I own and operate Brun Rub, which is our brand of barbecue rubs and seasoning blends based here in the best city in the world, which is St. Petersburg, Florida. And my favorite Thanksgiving item that I just love to make, love to eat, is my macaroni and cheese.
Okay. Mac and cheese man. There we go. Good to know. Carla Bristol.
Good day, everybody. I'm Carla Bristol. I run St. Pete Youth Farm, and I'm from the Caribbean, so Thanksgiving wasn't something I grew up with in terms of the traditional celebrations of it, but I love all things sides. So my favorite thing to make is actually a bourbon candied yam.
Oh,
So that's one of my absolute favorite things to make with with
Hey, that
pecan
sounds good.
and bourbon. Really shifts the flavor. But I love sides.
okay. That sounds good.
Tonya Lewis with Children with a Vision. And actually, I just got through cooking for 800 people yesterday, so for Thanksgiving in the community. So I would say the sides are, I'm with the young lady above. I love nothing but the sides. I don't care for too much of the meat, but as long as I can get all the sides, I can put it all together and mix it and eat it. So I would have to say the two people ahead of the collard greens and the dressing, but I like the collard greens.
Okay. A good staple in the Black Thanksgiving. What we put together for our sides and everything. Yes, I love a good collard green. I like to add a little turnip root to mine.
You old school.
Give me a little more flavor. So, thank y'all for that very much. We appreciate it. Let's talk about family politics at Thanksgiving, right? So we have those who, we know you all are big chefs. Y'all cook really well. But what do we do with the folks who can't cook?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, what do we ask them to bring?
Paper goods.
Ice and drinks.
Ice and drinks.
The paper products.
Ice,
Plates.
drinks,
That's
plates.
Yeah. I remember when I was living in New York, I hosted one of the family Thanksgiving, and my mom is in fact the family's best cook, right? So you can't do anything better, equally as good, or anything. You could only try. So what I would normally do is I try to control the meal. So I said, no, I got everything. I got it. Don't worry about anything. Yes, if you guys want to drink, then bring that. But otherwise, I wanted to show out that year, and I did. But we do have when you say politics, one of the things that we have is we have like a minimum number of Bristols could be invited. So if there's four, don't add one more. If there's four, something about to happen. So we limit the number of Bristols in the family that's allowed to be together at one time.
Got you. Okay. Anyone else? Miss Ernestine or Miss Tonya?
Well, I would say
You have them.
just I like to leave the kids home a little bit, and I like to have more of the elders because I'm old school. So I like traditionally getting all the knowledge from our elders before they take it home to heaven. I like old school. So I grew up on that, and I love to hear the elders talk about their traditional background and how they grew up, just to allow us to know where we're going.
Okay. Miss
And
Ernestine?
the ones that can't cook, you have them to watch their children. It's that you give them something to do, cause they ain't gonna be used to nothing else. So you make them a babysitter, or have them to go by Publix or somewhere and buy a cake or pie or something.
Okay. All right.
Walgreens and CVS is open. I'm gonna need for you to run to Walgreens, CVS, and Dollar General
Yeah,
and
they
get
become the runner.
some ice. You
Oh,
need to get ice, foil, and a bottle of Coke and some ginger ale.
Boy,
That's what you
Okay.
need to get.
that's
That's what
right.
you need to get.
That's
That's
usually
right.
the
Okay.
assignment. If you can't cook, you the runner. If you can't cook, go to Dollar
That's
General
it.
that's true.
because
That's
Dollar
it.
General is gonna be open. Go to Dollar General,
Hmm.
Walgreens, and CVS, and that's your
In that
job
order.
in that order.
Mm.
Publix ain't
Well,
gonna be
now, okay,
open, so
so
you can.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Publix isn't gonna be open, so that's your job. Go to one of them three stores and get it.
Okay. So now we brought up Publix. So here's a question I have for everybody. Have you ever purchased a food side and touched it up and served it as your own?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I don't, yeah, I have. I most certainly have. So Publix has, so I'm a vegetarian, have been for the last 3 years. But my daughter loves seafood, right? And I used to cook a lot of seafood before. So they have a seafood mac and cheese. So I will buy that seafood because I'm not making it for that many people. It's just like my daughter, maybe my son. I'll get that and I'll heat that up. I will add other things to it and put it in the proper pan for them, and they love it.
Okay.
But I did not make it.
Okay. Anyone
But I
else?
have.
No.
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 Like if I'm doctoring it up, I'll let it be known. Like the barbecue
Okay.
sauce is
All
Sweet Baby
right.
Ray's,
I
but
got
I
you.
threw some honey and some of my barbecue rub in it. So
Now, I
make it
will
mine.
say one thing I
Well,
did
maybe
traditionally
barbecue
one
sauce
year
or something
was
like that.
everybody was raving about Sam's Club potato salad, but I cook my own potato salad. But I have to say, um, Sam's Club potato salad is almost close to our potato salad, but we just need to add a whole bunch of more eggs.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sam's Club. I have to remember that because if I don't do so I will do my mother when I was growing up would do a potato salad with a shrimp in it, and I still do that. So I do shrimp, put them in the Old Bay, and put that in there. But I'll think about that if I want to do some other potato salad.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now that I just brought up my mom's potato salad with the shrimp in it. Is there a favorite dish that you have that's been passed down through your family, Miss Ernestine?
My mom's collard greens.
Mm.
My mom, when I was younger, she always and she liked to cook duck and collard greens.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I used to stand by her and try to learn everything she knew how to do. But she taught me how to cook the collard green. And so when I stopped eating pork, I had a hard time trying to make that collard green taste like my mom's. So it took me 20 years,
Mm.
but I finally got it. So collard greens is one of the dishes that my mom passed down to me. And so that's where it's at.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, it was the dressing
Yeah.
that my mom cooked. I never could emulate it the way she did. But the last particular time I stood there and watched her in the kitchen, because my my whole family is superb cooks, and it shows with their weight. But I didn't want to add to that too much. But it was the dressing for me. It's just was a unique way that she made it come together, and I just mastered it this year. The way she do it, and I was happy. And it showed through my colleagues and friends because they raved about it. And just yesterday, feeding all the people in the community, it was the dressing. I have to have good dressing.
Okay. All right. Great. Mr. Brunson?
How much time do you have? Because I could talk about all the things
I need
that.
one thing.
When,
One.
oh, okay,
One.
one. Because my mom passed down. Um, my mom passed down a bunch of different things to me. The macaroni and cheese was one. Lemon cakes.
Mm,
Uh, gosh,
Mm.
a chocolate. It was like a cheesecake filling into um, a chocolate cupcake that she used
mm,
to make when I was a child, and it's a
Ooh.
phenomenal. I mean, it I ain't get this again. I used to be 100 pounds heavier, but I ain't get this big for just eating because Glenda used to send some stuff down and make it, and to this day, people still ask me, "Did you get your mama's recipes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got them. I got them." So I have that
Mm.
one definitely. So every now and then for Christmas, I'll make that
Okay.
the
All right.
Mm.
chocolate chip cheesecake cupcake
Where
Mm-hmm.
you
deal.
located at?
Well, I think you might need, when
Wow.
you make that, go on ahead and send all of us
yeah, all of us.
some of that.
All
Give us a call.
Yeah, I think all
all
of
right,
us
I,
need a
we'll have to
tasting.
FedEx that. I'm gonna get the group rate on the FedEx, though. I'm gonna get the group rate.
Okay.
Okay.
Do that.
You know
And
what,
Carla?
Miss Adrienne, you said something real good. That's
Well,
profound. Those recipes from our family tradition. My grandmother passed it down to her children, and we all, when my grandmother passed away, my aunt Maddie was the next Big Ma house, and I asked her, um, do she feel like she needs to pass it down? She just started putting it in a book because when
mm.
we cook from our taste and pour, pour, pour. And that's what took her so long to get to mastering it on paper, but she did. And the last time I went, something told me, you better get these recipes because your aunt and your family getting older. And I took it with my phone, and I do have it.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Carla?
So I was interesting that you interjected with that comment about the recipes passing down. I just grew up most of my life having a little bit of resentment because my mom was such a good cook, and I would always say I would love the recipe for that. And she would never give me a recipe,
Mm.
right? So she actually bought me a book called What's Cooking in Guyana. And so all my life, I always had like a little bit of resentment until now that I'm running the youth farm. And people are always saying, I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that drink. So this weekend we cooked for the Urban Futures event. And everybody's like, I love that drink. All I said was, thank you. I said, thank you. And they said, no, but like, what's in it? I said, thank you so much. And then I explained that when I became a woman, I learned that just what someone just said, that we as Black people, when we cook, I cooked a chicken pasta this weekend, and I'm telling you, I don't eat chicken. So I know that that is good
Mm-hmm.
because I know how to cook and I know how to build flavors. So I think I had to learn that my mom didn't have a recipe. She sat with her mom, and I was the sous chef in the kitchen when my mom was cooking.
Right.
So when I'm talking to the teens at the farm and I'm saying, I'm julienne slicing these peppers, that's all coming from my mom
Mm-hmm.
and me being in the kitchen and it having to be cut a certain way and this being how you build
Yes.
flavors. So I sure wish there was a cookbook, but I don't measure
Mhm.
anything.
No.
I just happen to know and came
Right.
straight from my mom, and it worked, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. My mother, so how I learned to cook was my mom went back to work. My mother would come home and take out whatever it was, right? And she would write down the instructions.
Mm.
And so that's how I kind of learned. And then she would come home and say, because I didn't know how to use a lot of seasoning, right? I was just learning. And my mother would say, this is some fresh food. So, but I, eventually got it, right? Because I learned from
Right.
her how to do those things. So, let, I'm,
Adrienne, I just want to tell a quick story. Quick story. When I made curry for the first time, that curry looked exactly how curry was supposed to look, right? Everything was perfect. When I tasted it, flavor's not there. It was salt. I was missing the salt to wake up all the flavors. So it does work. And like the first time I tasted peach cobbler, I said, I bet I can make that. I bet I know what's in that. And I sure enough had the filling right. I just didn't know to pre-bake the crust. I was about 23 years old or something. Once I pre-baked the crust, it was home. So like I think we have a palate for tasting and picking apart what could be in something because we have experience with it. That's all.
definitely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what is the one ingredient no one should ever use when cooking.
Salt.
You got one of those?
Salt.
Salt?
Salt.
No one should ever use.
No one should ever use. The one ingredient no one should ever use.
I don't use mayonnaise. I don't like cream stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't use mayonnaise in anything.
Okay.
I don't. In my whole adult life, I don't remember buying it being in my refrigerator or anything like that. So I don't use mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same way with mayonnaise. I'm like undercover brother when it comes to mayonnaise. I have to make sure that I like put something on it, like hot sauce and some ketchup and a squeeze of this and whatever to make it like a remoulade or something like that. I am very anti mayonnaise. I had a traumatic experience while working at Winn-Dixie where I knocked over a pallet of mayonnaise as a teenager and had to clean it up. So to this day, I'm very anti. I'm very like I just don't bring me mayonnaise. Like last night eating a burger, somebody brought me mayonnaise, and I'm like, get that away from me now. Like it was just one of those things where I'm like, no, no mayonnaise.
Go away. Miss
I
Ernestine?
I said salt because
Salt.
yes, because sometimes you don't know how to limit the salt in your
That's
food.
true.
So I don't use salt. I use season.
Yes.
Right.
And I try not to use salt at all.
Okay.
And I think and salt make your blood pressure go up higher.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
it
for
does.
health reasons, salt is not good.
Right.
And if the right type of meat that you use in my food, 'cause I cook soul food, the right type of meat that you use it has salt in it.
Yeah.
So you get the seasoning, but the salt is one of the no-nos I try not to use.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you use salt-free seasoning? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying you use salt-free seasoning?
No, I use seasoning. It don't
Which the salt is in.
say what? I hear you.
The salt is already in the seasoning. You're saying you don't use additional
It's
salt.
right, iodine salt,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst kind of salt, that iodine salt.
Mhm.
Salt, a
Agreed.
Himalayan salt is better for you than regular salt.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Miss Tonya,
With
Oh no, I said salt off the top. Salt.
you said salt too? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So I have one final question for you all. This has been so much fun. I really appreciate y'all coming on and talking about this. Do you have a Thanksgiving horror story?
Well,
I was invited
Yes.
because I'm normally the one that cooks for everybody all my life, just coming up from my parents and my family. But they invited me, and I graciously said, okay, I'm going to go. And I went to their house, and they cooked. And, well, I don't know if they cooked or not. They might have went and bought it. But that's a no ever again. And I told them it was, I didn't want to hurt their feelings because when I tasted, I stopped and I traditionally put the food down. I tried to swallow that last little bit and I just helped myself to the drinks because I had to drink something. You want us to fix you a plate? I said, yeah, baby, fix me a plate. But baby, when I told him to fix that plate, I didn't give it to nobody. I just make sure that I told him I'll cook from now on. And that was it.
That sounds like my story. I had a big spread. Now they did it. They made it look good, but boy, when I tasted, ooh, Lord. I said, well, who taught y'all how to cook? I know you wasn't in the kitchen with me. I mean, they looked real good. They did a good job. Spread it out. But that thing, no, it didn't have no taste. They ain't use no season, no salt, no nothing. That thing was bad. I'm like you. I said, fix me a plate. I'm gonna take it home. That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am. They ain't
That's
even give
right.
it to the homeless people. Mm-mm.
Oh, goodness.
It looked good, but it's
Ed, you got a story?
the young
Um,
folk these days don't know how to cook nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, they know how to put stuff together, but they really don't know what we old school
Right.
was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was coming up, because I'll be 70 in March, but when I was coming up, you had to learn how to
I
cook.
was
Yeah,
forced.
you did.
I
mhm.
mean, and we don't do measurements.
Mm-mm.
We pinches, but you had to learn how to cook.
Yeah.
But
Right.
nowadays,
Well,
they have these cookbooks and they don't know how to cook out the cookbooks. They can't even
Yeah.
boil water without scotching it.
yeah, like with me, on that same on that same token, my mother taught me to read and cook at the same time. So I'm a little younger than y'all. So, but she literally would sit me in my high chair and sit me in my chair and crack open one of them Southern Living books, one of them Southern Living recipe books, one of those Betty Crocker somethings, and baby read it and sign it out. So I'd be there, sign it, teaspoon. Yes, best baby. How many? 4. Okay, go ahead, get 4, and then we would measure it out.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. How many did you put in there? 3. How many are you supposed to have? 4. Do another one, and then bam. So I think when you're looking at, especially with us culturally, a lot of love is passed through our food. So we
Yes.
have to continue to, even with my children now, I'm like, come on, you come here. My daughter, especially, you
Amen.
come here. My
Yes.
son, you come here. Let's
Yes.
here. I'm gonna show y'all how to do this to where we can continue to pass that down because culturally, I mean, we're getting wiped out where people
Right.
are not really taking our traditions and our items. They're not taking them seriously. So even with my barbecue rub, I have family stuff in these bottles, like family stuff, like stuff where I know I have a Louisiana bloodline. I have St. Petersburg in this bottle. Like it's a thing of where I have the South and St. Petersburg and Louisiana in these bottles. So main thing that I try to do is, I try to pass that on and I try to make sure that, my kids gonna eat. They gonna find a way and they gonna know how to cook it and
Yep.
we'll season with it. So
Yeah.
like main thing with horror stories, stuff that salt versus sugar where you use too much and not enough of the other. We've seen it. It happens where you think the turkey is done
Hmm.
until you cut into it. And it happens. I've seen a lot
For
of different
real.
things. Yes, raisins in the potato salad.
No, 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 no,
Uh,
no, no. Mm-mm.
Oh my
Mm-mm.
are you like,
goodness.
who
Mm-mm.
brought
No.
this?
No,
Yeah.
Who
sir.
brought
Only a
this?
little bit too
No,
Um,
far.
sir.
Casseroles where
Mm-mm.
people call it macaroni and cheese. Anything other than macaroni and cheese is a casserole.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Miss Carla.
Yeah, mine was what I was talking about earlier, just disagreement at Thanksgiving. Like too many people come together and then they don't know how to behave
Come on.
properly when they come together.
Right.
So, and I like peace. So I like peace. I will ask people to exit if there's going to be disturbance. I like peace, right?
But
I work
the
hard
Thanksgiving,
for my peace.
but the
Yep.
Thanksgiving
So
clapbacks are
that's
so
it.
good though. You got to come with the Thanksgiving clapback.
I don't,
You know.
we laugh about it now, but that's where the whole, like, if you have this many, don't add one more because it's bound to be something. That's where that came
Well, you
from.
have to
Yeah.
control it. I've seen where, because we got in our family, kind of big family, but I particularly have an aunt, and her 5 kids produced like 30 kids, and she felt like all of them needed to be at the table, and we didn't account for all that food for all them children. So I'm with Miss Carla. You have to have a cutoff line.
Well, I have a lot of children and I have a lot of grandchildren. Ain't no cutoff. They don't know how to cut off. They just keep on coming. You know. So I fixed them this year. This year, on Thursday, we gonna do 100 people. That's including them.
Ooh.
We gonna feed 100 people on Thursday, free of charge.
Okay.
Okay. Well, everyone, I thank you so much for jumping on today and talking about Thanksgiving with us, the do's and the don'ts and the dishes that we've passed down. I hope that you all have a great and wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes,
Happy
ma'am.
holidays and happy
Thank you for
Thanksgiving,
having us.
everybody.